Our one and only aim is to keep you entertained on Entertainment Thursday. This is how we do it. DJ Ako on another level. But before we get back to that, let's have our second conversation. We are talking about the film industry within the country. What is the progress? What are the challenges? And what are the opportunities? And how have women fared in this industry so far? That is a conversation that is happening right now on Entertainment Thursday. And I'm joined by Timothy Owase, who is the CEO, Kenya Film Commission. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And also Sandra Ruongo, who is a photojournalist, award-winning filmmaker and writer. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
And also Caroline Ncharo, who is a senior assistant chief and anti-FGM and early child marriage crusader. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Let's get into the conversation, and I want to start with you, CEO. Just briefly tell us about the status or the state of the Kenya film industry as of now.
Thank you very much. To start us off, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate all women as we gear up to the celebration of International Women's Day, which is coming up on the 8th. Of course, above that, I want also to take this opportunity to appreciate the space or the role of the film industry in Kenya. When we talk about the film industry, we look at Kenya Film Commission as a state corporation responsible for promotion, development, and marketing Kenya as a filming destination. When we look at the state of film industry in Kenya, I must say that it's a growing industry. It's an industry that each and every one of us wants to be. Most young people want to be part of the storytelling, and storytelling not just to entertain the populace, but being part of the storytelling because it's an opportunity to create employment, wealth, and also to champion social well-being within our society. So this is a growing space.
Yes. Let me come to you. You're a senior chief, and
Yes.
this is an achievement that has not come easy for you. How has it been getting into leadership in an area where it's quote-unquote male-dominated and in a society that is somewhat patriarchal?
Let me say first, breaking the ceiling was not that easy.
Yes.
As a woman from my community, being a chief, I'm the first one in Kajiado, let me say Kajiado Central, to become a chief in 2001. I fought for it, and after fighting and sensitizing, educating my community about the right of a girl child, I won an award. International Justice Mission is a champion of justice. At the time, I also went for an interview of an assistant chief. It took me 3 years to be accepted to be an assistant chief because of the odds of the community. It was not easy. Wanaume waliandamana, hawataki mwanamke, but all in all, the government was on my side.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in a way, it has changed the perception in terms of how women leadership is currently.
After being appointed, till date, we have already 13 women in position.
Wow.
Women chief.
And that is an impact after your efforts.
Sure.
Yes. We'll come back to the fact that you are in a film called Strong Woman and Tomononi Nagol.
Yes.
I hope I've said it right. Yes. But I want to engage you, Sandra, who is a photojournalist and an award-winning filmmaker and writer. How do you say women have fared in the film industry today?
I think it's growing. The numbers are growing. Like right now in Kenya, about 30 to 40% of filmmakers are women. But generally, the challenges that people face, you know, as a filmmaker, we have the financial challenges, the challenges of infrastructure, challenges to do with, you know, collaborations, being that maybe you don't have work that you've previously done. So by the time someone will trust you to put you on a project, they want to see what you've previously worked on. And if women are not being given these chances, then there is no way for us to show what we can do and the capabilities that we have. It's especially still low in terms of the technical areas. like lighting, cinematography, and even photographers. We still encourage women out there to take up the technical aspects of filmmaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
CEO, the government is big on creative economy and they want to make a very good impact on it. The question is, why the creative economy?
The creative economy is what we all need because it has all that this country requires in terms of opportunities for everyone. We are talking about women in film. For the past 4 years, Women in Film Awards has been taking place. And this is an award that has been supported by Kenya Film Commission from inception. Remember, from day one of these awards, we've had several women filmmakers submitting their entries, and we've had many winners coming about and showing the many stories that they've been able to tell. When I look at the film industry in general, I'm seeing an opportunity for Kenya to create opportunities in terms of job creation, opportunity for marketing Kenya, because film or storytelling is the best form of marketing that you can have as compared to any other form of marketing. Number two, we would like to attract more investment into our country. And what a better way to show what are the key areas of investment that you can be able to do this. And of course, through the efforts being put out by Kenya Film Commission, building capacity for more filmmakers in terms of skills development, championing for investment in the area in terms of infrastructure. In addition to that, we are also looking at incentives that will be able to galvanize and also catalyze most storytellers to tell stories that can be able to go to the globe. Remember, about 10 years ago, Kenya had zero product in terms of film on the international scene. But as we speak now, I can authoritatively say that we have over almost 40 products on the international scene. That is a sign of growth. And again, for the country, it's also important to note that with the stories, you can be able to champion integration and cohesion. You can be able to brand the country, brand the counties, and at the same time, create an opportunity for all other sectors to grow. Yes. Remember, when you have productions taking place in your space, what this does, it provides you an avenue to champion all other sectors of the economy, be it manufacturing, agriculture, and service industries. So for us, we are actually pushing this to see to it that we all, since we are all storytellers, let us champion the art of storytelling in a way that is meaningful and it is positive to each one.
Yes.
And as we gear up to the International Women's Day, I also want to encourage women. And as you can see, I'm flanked by women filmmakers. This is a great thing because today in the film industry, not only do we look at women filmmakers as only actors, but we want them to hold the camera, do the roles like directing, cinematography, among others. And this is happening because we know they are capable of doing the same.
Thank you. And that is a good observation. We're going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about your film that is A Strong Woman. Don't go too far. You're still watching Entertainment Thursdays. Thank you for keeping us company. My name is Mike. Now we talk about the film that is A Strong Woman, Entomononi Nagolo, that you acted in. How did you come about that role, and what would you say has been the impact? Because one of the things that you crusade against is FGM and early marriages.
Yes, through the Filamu Dada, my producer, Cynthia Abdallah, she was the one who contacted me after filming, not even filming, it was an interview with Mambo Leo in Kajiado. After airing it, I've got a chance with Cynthia, and it was during that prolonged drought, that I was with Skita together with Biggie, and they shot my video. I never knew will go far like that. I was just thinking it is ile tu kitu ya kawaida. I was tired when filming that film because nilikuwa na kazi mingi ya nyumbani, kulisha ng'ombe, watoto, community. So it took us like a week tukifanya hiyo film. The film there, ukiangalia, it is raw. It is all about what I do.
Yes.
It's all about me.
Yes.
It's all about my family, my community. and that is the leadership tuko nayo pale mashinani as a woman.
Yes.
You are a family woman, you are a leader, and in other parts you are a business lady. So featuring me in that feature, to me it was a big opportunity, because grassroots level such things hazifiki. Mainly we advocate hata wale wamama wa mashinani wafikiwe, as my CEO amesema, women needs to talk, women needs to tell, to give out their storytelling. We need to say more about our stories. They are hidden down there in the grassroots level, and nobody have anaweza elewa wamama wa pale mashinani wanapitia. And mimi nikiwa mmoja wao, I have talked, I'm a eye opener to the women from the grassroots level.
How have you handled matters to do with FGM and early marriages now that you are in administration?
It's a hard tax. To me, I say it's a hard tax, because it's a cultural thing. And a cultural thing, there is a law in between. So it's a conflict between the culture and the law. The culture believes that uncircumcised girl, a circumcised girl in the community, it's somebody who is not accepted, because in our culture we believe that it's a rite of passage. When a girl is circumcised, she is meant to be a woman. And here is the law, that the law is prohibiting no circumcision to girls. So it's so hard for me, because you are fighting your people, and meanwhile you are a government advocate, you are advocating for this thing not to happen, and then the community is doing it. Up to date, it is being done, but in the percentage has gone down. And we have a very big challenge, maybe in Kajiado especially, we people who are living next to the border, because now our girls are being taken to Tanzania to be circumcised. Since Tanzania, law yao hawazingati sana venye Kenya inazingatia. So I still say it's hard, but we are fighting.
Have you acted in any other film?
Not a film, but I was one time in the show, going to a Taj show.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. You know, we are talking about issues, and these are issues that affect people directly. And you are also involved in films that tell things to do with politics, gender, climate change. How has it been for you?
I think for me, storytelling is a major part of our community. And I feel like whenever we want to, tackle these social vices, we should go back to storytelling as a way of engaging people on social impact. And just going back to what CEO said about incentives to women in filmmaking, our films were part of a project called Filamu Dada, which was initiated by Flav and Diesel, supported by KFC, DocuBox, Media Focus on Africa, Women in Film Awards, So it was a collaborative effort. And for each of us, it was a female producer and female director following a female character, So we had been given the various counties, which had Kajiado, we had Homa Bay County, we had Kisii, we had Murang'a, Isiolo, and Nandi County. So in part of the storytelling, we have noted that whenever we go back to the ground with these stories, the social impact is quite major, because people are now accepting that, women leaders actually have the capacity to go for the elective posts, be it the gubernatorial positions, be it the ministerial positions. So we are not only encouraging women to take up the incentive roles, like the national affirmative action spaces, but we are also encouraging them to go for elective posts.
You also directed the film that is currently on air, that is Ginoa, the rise of Gladys Wang. How was it? How was the journey for you directing this?
I was the director for Genoa. My producer was Wendy Kirore, and we also had, we call him a he for she, because it was supposed to be an all-female crew, but we had our cinematographer, Dims Media. So it was easier for myself and Dims because I come from a political background.
Yes.
I was the official photographer for Right Honorable Raila Odinga during the 2017 campaigns. So it was during that point that I saw women were not given the same opportunities in the media space.
Yes.
And I think up until now, we still have panels that have more males than females, which is something that we've still been trying to fight.
Yes.
So for us to follow her on the ground and see the grueling task that is grassroots campaign, it is not easy.
Yes.
It is not easy, and I can tell you it was not easy for the politician, and it wasn't easy for us as filmmakers as well.
Yes.
First of all, accessing the spaces was difficult. It is quite an expensive journey, and the good thing is that our character, Honorable Gladys Wanga, she was open to us because we had that rapport before, and she was open to us getting the stories and following her, you know, from her house, her family, her campaign journey. And when we started following her, we didn't know that she was going to win, you know. We just wanted to follow her because she's been an interesting character, I mean, from the days when she was women representative, and she's been vocal. So we said, if it's women, then, and from Nyanza, we need to follow this particular woman who has been at the forefront of change back then in the opposition side.
Okay.
And we can see how currently she has developed, and Homa Bay County is quite making headlines as, you know, one of the top performing counties. And we're just waiting to see how our character, you know, develops. So it was an amazing journey, of course, with the challenges, but I mean, all beautiful stories have to have challenges.
Yes, you know, film and storytelling is a big business, CEO, and we have potential in the country. But when it comes to marketing, do we get it right? And if we don't, where do we go wrong?
Thank you very much. Allow me to first pick up from where the senior chief left.
Yes.
She mentioned that there is a conflict of laws and the cultural beliefs. And that's where, when we talk about storytelling, you have a bridging component for laws of the country and what the people believe as far as their cultural alignments are concerned. When we tell more stories, we create understanding. So mine is just to encourage all our populace to appreciate the role of storytelling within our communities, so that, again, we abide by the law as we appreciate our culture. And that can be fully effected through storytelling. So when you talk about the business of film, I think we must be able to appreciate that any filmmaker not only comes up with a story to entertain the targeted audience, but undertakes to tell this story because they would like to be able to create wealth, employ people, and also have a social impact in the community. So when it comes to marketing, first of all, my rallying call has always been to all filmmakers that, one, you are a creative. Two, you are a business person. Think about who is your audience, whom are you telling your story to, and what is the value of the audience that you're actually targeting. What is the value in terms of the key segment? What key marketing principles are you able to apply? And that's why we find it very important that anytime you are coming up with a story, you must be able to undertake proper research, undertake research to know whom you are talking to, what tools to apply, what markets to target, how to price your product, and in addition to that, to give yourself reason to get to know from the onset the return on investment. So marketing starts from the time you start thinking about a story. It does not start after you have already produced your product, which is a big challenge that I've found that most filmmakers undertake their production from scripting to production and bring in marketing at the tail end, which should not be the case. We must be able to think about marketing from the time you are conceptualizing your idea. As you progress all the way to production, to distribution, your marketing strategies and tactics must be very clear and very well deliberate.
Yes.
Of course, I'm saying this because I appreciate entertainment not only provides us room to appreciate one another, but it also gives us room to provide an avenue to create job opportunities and also to create understanding between the different characters that are portrayed within a given product.
Yes.
And Kenya Film Commission, being a state corporation responsible for marketing Kenya as a filming destination, our aim is to act as a real catalyst for storytelling in this country in a way that we build capacity. Like now we are working on an entrepreneurship program that is targeting mostly women, so that we have more women filmmakers doing like a 6-month program within Kenya Film Commission in a manner that upon a completion of this 6 months entrepreneurship program, they'll be able to undertake real enterprise as far as filmmaking is concerned. Beyond that, we're also championing the component of attracting more high quality productions by way of using technology, so that we are able to actually tell high quality stories that can be able to traverse the world. Because if your product is not competitive, then you cannot be able to compete with anybody. So as we champion this, I just want to rally upon all stakeholders, be it the media, the audiences, the storytellers themselves, the government, that we all have a role to play within this space. Currently, technology is playing a very critical role. Yesterday, I had a program with about 100 filmmakers, and we were training them about virtual production, because we appreciate you can be able to facilitate a production in Mexico while you are seated somewhere in Turkana. That can only be actualized through technology. And as such, we found it fit that we should be able to train local young filmmakers to appreciate that space and take the opportunity that it presents. That's why we were able to train over 500 who are participating in this particular workshop virtually, while we had a physical presence of about 100. And out of this 100, Genesis Design Factory, which is our partner, as well as Konza Technopolis, we have agreed to incubate about 12 participants out of this particular team, so that we instill in them specific entrepreneurial skills and technical skills that will enable them after 3 months for them to be able to undertake international jobs. So let's all rally around appreciating that storytelling is not just for entertainment, but it's real business.
Yes. Assistant Chief, if we are talking about storytelling, how do you think it fits now into our ecosystem when it comes to addressing issues like the ones that you addressed, issues to do with FGM, we are talking about GBV, we are talking about forced marriages. How does it feel in all this?
It will create a space for the concerned persons. What do I want to say? Maybe down there kwenye grassroots ama pale mashinani kuna mtu hajasikilizwa, lakini atakaposema ongea story yake, like let me give an example. You may get to a seminar or maybe this sensitization forum. You want to teach about FGM, and there's a girl who has undergone FGM, and she has been reading through the papers that FGM is bad, iko na hizi effects, na akakuwa affected innerly ama psychologically, akakuwa affected, but without talking and telling, nobody will know the story about this girl. Most of them are suffering from maybe the effects of FGM like keloids, but without speaking, who will hear them? Sauti yao kuna mtu atawasikiliza. So there is an impact when telling out the stories, and somebody will be heard, and maybe atapata msaada ama usaidizi from there, through counseling, through kusikilizwa pia. Yeah.
Yes. We are also joined by Dr. Susan Gatimo, who is the founder and awards director at Women in Film. Welcome to the program. I'll be coming back to you. But Sandra, I want to engage you on this matter in how, we were talking behind the cameras, we were saying everybody is a storyteller. How do we ensure that through film we make sure that the right impact is felt through films that tell matters that affect the people? It's not just for entertainment only.
Just to peg on what Chief here talked about, we have something called impact production, So after you've done your film and now going back to the community making sure that the film attains its intended purpose, you know, because when you're making the film, like you said, it's not for me to, you know, sit down in my house and watch with my kids, you know, it's for the intended purpose. So before you start making a film, you have to look at what social vice are you tackling? Is it, you know, gender-based violence? Is it sexual reproductive health rights? In our case, it was incentivizing women to take up leadership positions, you know, and we didn't just want to focus on women in politics, it's just women in leadership generally, and that is why Chief's story mattered equally. So before you pick a social impact story that you're going to tell, you have to look at the community that the story is intended for. If, like in our case now with Genoa, we are going back to the community for the impact screenings. So you screen the film, and then you have conversations around the film, the challenges that the film was trying to tackle, and the successes so far. And if you look at it this way, we were sponsored by Kenya Film Commission to go to Netherlands. There is an event called Movies That Matter, which tackles human rights issues, you know, and you realize that we might think that FGM is just a Kenyan story, but when we went to the Netherlands, Hague, for these Movies That Matters, we realized that FGM is also in other countries, you know, and other people and other stories that we were shown there were talking about these vices. So you find that it is like a web, you know, and my story, you can relate to it, Chief can relate to it, CEO can relate to it, and Susan can relate to it as well. So that is why we tell these stories, and everyone has a story to tell. From the impact production events that we've done on the ground, we do it with women leaders, young women leaders who are upcoming, and they want to know, you know, what's the journey like? What do I need to have? What are the challenges I'm going to face? For some of them, they're being asked, you want to vie, you don't have a husband, you know? How will they tackle that, you know? So do you go get a husband before you come vie for a position? Or you look at these women's stories who have been there, who have done it. This will encourage you that it is something that can actually be done. For FGM, you will see Chief's story and realize that, oh, it is from this story that Chief actually gets a way to be able to simplify this story. You know, she doesn't have to be there on the ground, but people can watch this film, relate to it, and know that it is a bad vice, and this is what we have to do to tackle it.
Yes. Dr. Thank you for making time. And just for purposes of fairness, in your own perspective, how do you think women have fared in the film industry within the country?
I think the women filmmakers are doing good. Even when you look at the history of filmmaking in Kenya, pioneers of filmmaking in Kenya are women. And we are seeing more and more women embracing the practice. And that is where even we have WIFA, so that we can be able to empower even more women filmmakers to take up the craft. Yes.
What can you say has been the impact of WIFA now in terms of encouraging and making sure that women are getting into this space? We are talking about production, we are talking about directing, we are talking about everything to do with film. How would you say what can you say has been the impact?
One of the impacts, I can say it is raising the profile of women filmmakers. We have, and that is one of the things that we set out to do, because we realize that there are so many women filmmakers, but where are they? We could not find them. And Women in Film Awards have given that platform. When a woman filmmaker is recognized and she's celebrated, then even the public, they end up now going to look for her work. And also, WIFA also encourages people to watch Kenyan content, because WIFA is about nomination. I cannot nominate Sandra and there's nomination from the public. The public cannot nominate Sandra if they have not seen her work. So even after the awards, people will still go and check out what has Sandra done, and they will still now keep on following the things that she's doing in the industry. Yes.
And CEO, it seems from what Sandra said, you have worked with women filmmakers. How has the journey been?
I think it's progressive. I must also appreciate the role of impact filmmaking by giving an example. We have a female filmmaker by the name of Emily Wanja. She did a very interesting production Thank You for the Rain. This is a story of drought in Kitui. When she did this particular story and went to a forum at an international stage, she was able to actually find somebody who committed to come and address the issue of drought in Kitui by committing 400 million shillings to actually construct a dam. That is just an example of the value of impact filmmaking and what storytelling can actually do in changing perspective and also changing tides of a community. So from where I sit, we continue championing the need for us to champion or propel the aspects of storytelling on all divides, both men and women. Of course, women are champions in many, many ways. That's why I have Chief here as a critical role model in what she's been able to achieve and what she's currently doing as far as storytelling. So from my perspective, Kenya Film Commission, of course, continues to work with women, and that's why we have many programs that are tailor-made to actually champion practice of women within the entire value chain, be it distribution, writing, directing, producing, editing, among others. And again, as Dr. Susan has indicated, you will find that there is a large percentage of women filmmakers currently who are doing a lot of stuff. When I look the year 2024, about 20% or 30% of films that were premiered in Kenya, majority of them were by women.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is, of course, an indicator of how women are doing in the industry.
Okay.
Because they are able to galvanize productions, involve both men and women in telling their stories and telling very impactful stories. So as we celebrate the International Women's Day, of course, we need all to look at this as an opportunity to continue championing the rights of women and also giving women a voice to be able to tell their story and to impact the society that we live in.
Yes. You know, I'm intrigued, and this is a question I want to throw to the ladies on set. Do women have a unique way of telling stories? Let me start with you.
Yes. Yes, I say yes.
What makes it unique?
When a woman gives a story, she gives out a story inside the heart, ile impact ya ndani ya roho. Na atasema what is there, the truth about her, the truth about what is she's, ile kitu anasema inatoka ndani ya roho.
Yes.
So I say, when a woman say, she say, and she does it with perfection.
Yes. Daktari, do women have a unique way of telling stories, especially now we're talking about women in film industry?
Oh yes, women have a different way of telling stories because they see the world in a different perspective. Whether it is a story about love, whether it is a story about politics, or whichever way, women see things from a different perspective, and that is the unique thing that they also bring on the table. Now, in regards to coming from the heart, I really agree with her because we are emotional human beings. Yes. So basically, even that human part, we also bring it. We also bring it to the table, and we can see with more women-led films, we are also seeing a change in representation of gender in film. We are seeing more empowered women in our screens. We are seeing more empowered, we are seeing more empowered women. And when, as a young girl, you see an empowered woman, you also aspire to become an inspired and a great woman as well. So yes, we totally agree. We have a different way of telling stories.
Sandra.
Yes.
Your take.
The problem with speaking last is that you just speak on everything that's been said. But I agree with them. We have a different way of telling stories. First of all, we will bring the passion. We'll bring the emotions, and then we are resilient. We will make sure that the story achieves what it is meant to achieve. Yes.
CEO, you agreed with me on the first instance. I agree with that question.
I want to just re-emphasize that storytelling is in each one of us. And I would like to paint a picture. This morning, all of us on this set, when we woke up, we told a story. And that story started by you making a choice on what socks to wear, what dress to wear, what makeup, and all that. As you can see, all of us here, we are telling a story.
That's true.
So naturally, storytelling is inherent. And of course, women make deep stories because it is natural in them.
Now, Daktari, what do you see as the future of women in film industry, especially now within the country? Evolving technology, new ideas, new media. What do you see as the future of this industry?
I believe that women filmmakers will continue to do their craft. Despite the structural barriers that are there, I believe that the future is women in the film industry. And I also believe that women filmmakers, they are also now beginning to uptake the new technology that is coming in regards to AI, virtual reality, and augmented reality. This is the future of filmmaking. And I believe that even at this point, there are women filmmakers who are actually taking part or taking initiative to learn these things. They may not be taught in school right now, because right now I don't think there's a university in Kenya that is teaching virtual reality filmmaking or augmented reality, but being self-teaching, because these are things that you can also be able to learn from, teach yourself, or even learn from other institutions outside the country. But I think the future for the woman filmmaker is bright. We just need to keep on creating. We just need to keep on celebrating each other and supporting each other.
Yes. Sandra, in terms of the things that you're passionate about, in terms of talking matters to do with gender, that has to do with climate change, what do you see as the future of women in film industry, especially in the country?
The future that I see, and the one that I hope for, is when we don't have to say female filmmakers, you know, because if you had a panel here, you wouldn't, the title wouldn't be male filmmakers, you know?
Yes.
It would just be filmmakers. So I hope that we get to a point where it's just filmmakers, it's just leaders, you know? Yeah.
CEO, in general now, you know, Kenya's film industry is growing and it's big. What is the future now? How does it look like?
Very well. At Kenya Film Commission, just to re-emphasize that we want to continue acting as a catalyst for growth. We would like to see more Kenyan stories going to the globe, and also more stories creating impact within our society. And that's why Kenya Film Commission will continue championing the opportunities that are there. I know Dr. Gitimo has talked about technology in film production. That's why we want to advocate for more practical productions, because when you have more productions within the country, then you are providing an avenue for learning filmmakers to be able to acquire the right skills practically. There is no better way of becoming a better filmmaker than when you are doing it practically in the field. And we continue doing this by championing key county programs. For example, My County, My Story, My Kenya, My Story, which are critical programs that are geared towards seeing to it that we are able to have at least one big budget production from each county, which will translate in a year at least 47 stories. This is achievable. And looking at the mission of Kenya Film Commission, which is to make Kenya a hub for film production, we would like to continue doing this and putting in place specific mechanisms that are geared towards cultivating and activating as we catalyze the growth of this particular sector. Because this is the sector that will make Kenya what it ought to be, because we believe in the same.
Yes. Caroline, what do you see as the future now that you are engaged in activities that are meant to bring positive change?
Okay, I read an article which say that everybody was born with a blank paper and a pen for her or him to write a story. Through story making of the impact of women, for instance, let's say about it was 2022, we had only one woman governor. By 2020, 2007, we have one women governor. 2022, we had more than 4. What about 2027? Truth is, what we are doing today, I believe that 2027, we shall be having more than 10 women governors. In Kajiado County, where I come from, I know it will change to be, we'll be having more than 30 women ladies. In Kajiado, we had only one elective seat for one woman since independent. So I believe in 2027 that elective seat for women will be at least 5.
Yes.
So I foresee that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Asante sana. Asante sana. Brilliant brains, brilliant contributions. And we are talking about Kenya's film industry and the progress, the challenges, and the opportunities. This is where we wrap this conversation. And I thank you, my panelists, for making time to come on Good Morning Kenya. That is Timothy Owase, who is the CEO of Kenya Film Commission. And also Caroline Nchara, who is a Senior Assistant Chief. And also Dr. Susan Gitimu, who is the founder Awards Director at Women in Film, and also Sandra Ruongo, who is a photojournalist and award-winning filmmaker and writer. This is where we end the conversation, but Entertainment Thursday continues with Vivian Dego. My name is Mike Migwi. Keep it KBC Channel 1.